Hello everybody, Film Fan 108 here with the Blu-ray pickups for June 2017, and I got only a small little stack this month. Not a ton actually. Was kind of saving up more for July because July is going to actually be a bigger month for stuff. You know, there's going to be the Criterion sale, and there's a few more titles that are coming out that I want to pick up. So I was saving up a little bit more for July. But let's get into them and see what I got. So the first one that I want to talk about, I got through Vinegar Syndrome. They were having their halfway to Black Friday sale, and they announced this title. And I told you guys before that I'm starting to get into sort of women's exploitation movies. And I wanted to pick this title up. I was curious about it. It was definitely a blind buy, but I wanted to see what I thought about it. And I've heard good things, so why not? And that is Sweet Sugar. And as you can see, it comes with this really nice slip cover. Really nice. And the original artwork. Turned it over. Very nice. Of course, got that in there. And there you go. Really nice. And this is basically a movie that was made in the 1970s, which stars Phyllis Davis. And basically she is kind of a drug dealer, like, you know, marijuana, stuff like that. And one of her clients basically rats her out, and she gets sent to this women's prison facility where she is enslaved, and she's forced to work you know, in the fields. And, you know, there's this crazy male doctor, and there's all these weird experiments, and it's just really kind of weird and odd, but I really liked it a lot. I really actually did. I thought, man, like, they don't make them like this anymore. They really don't make them like this. And it was just so good. And I'm just finding I just love these exploitation movies more and more and more. I really am. And I'm hoping they release more of these type of films. These films don't get a lot of love. Unfortunately not. And there's a ton of them out there. And I'm hoping more companies like Vinegar Syndrome will release more. Scream Factory, Synapse, Code Red. I'm hoping they kind of do more of these and give them the love that they deserve. Because I think people want to buy them. I mean, this version actually sold out. So this is, I believe it's already out of print. And so it probably on eBay and everything is going for a crazy amount already. But it's well worth buying. And on this Blu-ray, it's a newly scanned and restored in 2K from the 35mm inner positive. There's a new video interview with the screenwriter, theatrical trailer, and yeah, so it's a really nice one. I'm glad I got it. And the next one I got was another kind of exploitation movie, I guess. And I've been wanting to watch it for a while, and that is Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Yep. And I really did enjoy this one a lot. And basically, you know what? With this movie, I've always wanted to watch it. And recently, there was a post by someone in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. And they were talking about this movie. And I thought to myself, I've never watched this movie. I've wanted to. I've never watched it. Why don't I check it out? So I actually watched it on YouTube and really enjoyed it. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to pick up the Blu-ray. I'm going to do it. And I picked this up through Amazon UK. And I just really love this movie. It's one of those movies where when you think about Gunnar Hansen, you're thinking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not many people talk about this, and he only has a small role in it, but it's really, really effective role, and it's kind of funny. He does comedy well. You wouldn't think Gunnar Hansen would do comedy. He's more of a terrifying guy, but here he actually does it well. And I really like the movie in its exploitation. I like actually the strong female characters in it. I actually also like the kind of film noir aspect to it. Like the whole idea of the detective and the voiceover and how, you know, he's making the puns and everything. It's actually really enjoyable. And it's a total cheese fest. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's a total cheese fest. And that's part of its charm. It really is. Linnea Quigley is also in this thing. She's really good in this as well. And it's also directed by, forget his name here, Fred Olen Ray. I forgot. And I recently watched another one of his movies, which may or may not be coming out on Blu-ray soon, which is Evil Toons. Really good movie as well. Again, another cheese fest, but really good. He does a lot of these exploitation, low-budget movies that somehow have its charm. You think they wouldn't, but they actually do. I really do love this movie, and the Blu-ray was actually pretty cheap, actually, to get. And it's got on here, it's got Linnea Quigley's horror workout video, which I haven't seen yet. It's got a director restoration, it's got a making of documentary, it's got 2 commentaries, it's got Remembering Chainsaw Hookers 27 years later, it's got you know, 88 Films trailer reel. It's got a lot of stuff in here. This is a really solid release. If you like Gunnar Hansen, check it out. If you like exploitation movies, check it out. If you like sort of those B-movie exploitation cheese fests, check it out. So that is Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. And the next movie I was really looking forward to getting. I really enjoyed the movie, and Shout Select put it out during the course of June, and I had to pick it up, which was Where the Buffalo Roam. And this movie basically is a Hunter S. Thompson movie. Bill Murray plays Hunter S. Thompson. And this movie came out in 1980, and this was really before Bill Murray was the Bill Murray that we know and love. You know, he had already done Saturday Night Live, he had even done the first Meatballs movie, but Caddyshack hadn't come out yet, Stripes hadn't come out yet, Ghostbusters, all those other movies hadn't come out yet. So this is a very different Bill Murray than you're used to. But he does a great job in this role. And Peter Boyle is in it, which also, he's fantastic in the movie. And I'm a big fan of Hunter S. Thompson. I like Hunter S. Thompson's work. And one of my favorite films of all time is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I love that movie, guys. I think that movie's brilliant. And I always heard that there was another Hunter S. Thompson movie out there. And when I finally got to watching it, I liked it, but it's nowhere near as good as Fear and Loathing. This movie is more of a comedy than Fear and Loathing is. This movie has aspects of drama in it, but it's very few and far between. It's definitely a comedy. The comedic elements are there. Whereas Fear and Loathing is very dark, and yeah, there's comedy elements to it, but it really delves into the drug trade of what they were doing in that movie. This movie touches on it a little bit. It's more of the quirky insanity of Hunter S. Thompson. And Bill Murray plays an amazing role as Hunter S. Thompson. He does an amazing job in it. and he really gives his all in this role. I mean, is it as good as Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing? Two different types of movies. I think both do a great job. He's awesome in it. I think if you're exploring Hunter S. Thompson, this is not a bad movie to start out with. It's definitely not the best. Out of the two, Fear and Loathing is much better. This is still a great, great movie. And oddly enough, the film is still relevant to this day. Like, a lot of the stuff that this film brings up, the stuff with Nixon, the stuff about, you know, freedom of speech and everything like that, actually is more relevant today probably than it was back then. And it's just crazy how even a film that came out in 1980 is still very relevant and still very topical even today. I still really love it. I think it's fantastic. And again, Shout Select released this title, and it came with this nice, really slip cover here, guys. Really nice slip cover right there. Yeah, there we go. And also the original artwork is right there as well. Right there as well. And there's not many special features on this release. There's only a new interview with the screenwriter and the original theatrical trailer, but all of the original music is still on here. So they never got rid of any of the music that was in the film. They kept it all. And I wish they would have gotten an interview with Bill Murray, or maybe a Hunter S. Thompson historian, or somebody who has researched his life or something like that. I wish they would have done that, but otherwise, I don't think this movie is going to get as much love as it's gotten here. The movie looks great on Blu-ray, and it's an easy pickup. If you guys like Bill Murray, if you guys like Hunter S. Thompson, it's definitely worth a watch, maybe even worth a buy. So, Where the Buffalo Roam. And last, but certainly not least, I saw this movie earlier on this year. It's definitely gonna be probably one of my top films of the year, unless it gets knocked down, but I don't know, guys. It's gonna be up there, I think. And that is John Wick Chapter 2. And man, this movie is awesome. I love the first John Wick. I own the first John Wick on Blu-ray. And when I heard they were making a John Wick Chapter 2, I was down. I was up for it immediately. I wanted it. But I was worried. How are you gonna make John Wick Chapter 2 just as good as the first one? And the first one was a complete surprise. I don't think anybody really knew how good that movie was gonna be until you stepped in the movie theater and you really experienced it. And you know what? They delivered. Is it as good as the first one? That's really up to you. I think it's right there with it, maybe even surpasses it. But you guys might think a little differently. I think it's just really solid action. It's amazing in its execution. Keanu Reeves does over 90% of his stunts. This guy is still a badass years later, away from The Matrix and Point Break and all those movies that he did. He still is dedicated to his work. He's dedicated to making the action as fantastic as he is. And it works. It works really well. I think the plot is really good, and I think the directing is solid. The director of this, Chad Stahelski, was Keanu Reeves' former stuntman from the Matrix movies, and he also co-directed the first one, and he does a great job here. Also, it's one of the great things I love about certain sequels that I love, is it takes place directly after the first movie. So there's barely any time wasted. You just go from the first movie to the second movie and without missing a beat. and it's great because you just step right back into the world. There is no catching up with anything. There's only, okay, he's still on this adventure from the first movie. It's still going on, and it's great. You delve more into the characters from the Continental. You delve more into John Wick himself. Everything in it is just pure perfection. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but at the end of this movie, it definitely sets up for a third movie, and I know they're working on it. Please, please, please be good, man. Please be good. I want you to be good, because I'm just worried that the execution isn't going to be that good. Third movies have a tendency to fail sometimes. Give me a good John Wick 3, and I will be a very, very happy camper. But with this movie, guys, comes with this really nice slipcover. Again, got that thing. It's also got that Rotten Tomatoes logo there, which, I don't know, take it or leave it, guys. I don't care about it. And yeah, so slipcover, and also the same right there. And there's a ton of special features on here, guys. There's deleted scenes. There's training with John Wick. There's the stunts of John Wick. There's the underworld of John Wick. There's commentary. There's a kill count. There's theatrical trailer. There's the Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski partnership. There's the training montage for John Wick. There's so many things in this movie, and it's really, really solid of a movie. I love the hell out of this movie. It's an absolute recommend. If you're an action movie fan, it's a recommend. If you're a Keanu Reeves fan, it's a recommend. If you are just a fan of old school, sort of back to basics, kick-ass, shoot-'em-up movies, this is your thing. You would love it. So it's definitely easily a recommend, and it was easily a buy for me after watching it in the theater. So there. So guys, that is my Blu-ray pickups video for June of 2017. Again, it wasn't a big haul. I definitely was saving up some money for July, which is going to be a little bit bigger of a month as far as Blu-rays are concerned. Some stuff coming out that I can't wait to get. So the stack, not bad, but you know, definitely quality over quantity, which I'm always a fan of doing quality, I should say. Always a fan of quality over quantity, because, you know, I want my collection to be worth it. I want to get quality stuff, not just get stuff for the sake of getting it, getting stuff that I know I'm going to watch and know that I'm going to be proud of what I put in my collection. So guys, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that like button as well. Also, hit that little bell button so that you make sure that my videos come up in your feed, and you definitely will get to see them. Also, guys, I'm on Twitter at FilmFan108, so you can also connect with me there. Alright, guys, I will see you later. Have a good one. Take care.